Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for the opportunity to address this important event, the launch of our country's first ever Digital Inclusion Week. And I'd like to thank Heidi Foster and her colleagues at An Cosán for hosting this webinar. The theme of this webinar, Digital Inclusion, could not have come at a better time. Over the past 2 years, we've seen our lives disrupted and somewhat forever changed due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the acceleration of digital change. One of the biggest changes in our daily lives has definitely been the frequency with which we now use digital technologies in every aspect of our lives, and we now have opportunities to learn, to connect, and to work like never before. The pandemic has definitely accelerated that transition to a digital society, faster than perhaps anyone ever could have imagined. However, as we emerge from the pandemic, or at least the health emergency part, as an increasingly digitalised society, it's important to be aware that not everyone has the same level of digital access or digital skills. And if we don't address this, we run a very serious risk of blocking people out of full economic and societal and educational participation. I know Accenture will today present their report called Towards a Digital Society and their new Digital Index Barometer, which will track Ireland's progress in closing the digital divide. I really welcome this. Accenture's report reveals some very interesting findings, such as the sense of apathy towards training and improvement, and the fact that significant cohorts in our society continue to be excluded from key services which are now increasingly offered online. We appreciate these valuable real-time insights from industry. A key tenet for my own department as we respond to our shared challenge is to ensure that we have the appropriate skills to continue to develop as an economy and as a society, and that there's a partnership between education and enterprise. So in short, we've made a lot of progress together. We've made progress when we've collaborated, when we've partnered, when we have worked together and not worked in silos. We've seen that in terms of how we've dealt with the COVID pandemic. We see it in terms of our new literacy strategy. We now have funding in place to develop and progress that strategy, to take real concrete steps. And my message to you today is, as we roll out our literacy strategy, as we publish our new National Access Plan, as we put more resources into these areas, we want to work together. We want to work across society. We want to work with government. We want to work with NGOs. We want to work with community educators. We want to work with industry. We want to work with everybody who shares our view and our vision that nobody in this country should be left behind. Nobody in this country should be excluded or blocked out from reaching their full potential based on their circumstances. I know when we work together, we're going to achieve this. I know events like this webinar and weeks like this Digital Inclusion Week are key to sparking conversations, building connections, and taking the next steps. I wish you the very best for the rest of your webinar. Gurmila Wagaf.